Right, Timico Gold Cup is the final race we're going to preview, and then we'll take a few questions. Rich Ritchie, lead away on the Gold Cup, sir. Jackadam, could he do what the fellow did? Second, fourth, win?
Well, I'll tell you, last year, I think I tipped Might Bite here, and then I laid him at the other preview night.
Perfect.
You did. Well, I think I pulled you up with it.
I've always liked Might Bite. He's a good horse. God, he's a good horse when his head is right, probably like myself. This is a hard race.
Are you a horse when your head is right?
Yeah, I am, yeah. It's a wide open Gold Cup. Does Jackadam have a chance? Second, a very close fourth. If he's on his game, he'll run his race. And he'll finish in the first, third, or fourth. Does he stay? I don't know. He ran a brilliant race. I can't get away from him in terms of my own heart. Now, my head says Might Bite and Nicky Henderson, they've had a lovely campaign. I backed them and I laid them last year. I would back them again this year. I may lay them tomorrow night, but I'd back them this year to win.
All right. Luke Harvey, Might Bite. Is he the horse that everyone seems to be... Are we just overlooking the obvious? Isn't he the horse with this race at his mercy?
I think if you ask 99% of the jockeys in the weighing room, they'd all want to ride Might Bite. I think he's the best horse in the race. I think he's the most talented horse in the race. Look, he does have his quirks, as he demonstrated last year in the RSA. There'll be people that will be crabbing his victory in the King George because a couple of lesser horses finished behind him after he'd won his race. He beat Frodon, absolutely bolted up all over him first time. So, look, I'm not... The only thing that would slightly worry me if it got really soft, which it probably won't, and it really got into a war of attrition, because I don't think his ace card is staying. He's got tremendous speed, he's got class, he's a brilliant jumper. They've worked out how to ride him now, but that is the slight question mark. And the reason I'm strong on him is because there are so many ifs and buts about the others. I don't think Native River will bounce, but he wasn't good enough last year to beat Sizing John, so I don't really see why he should be this time around. Sizing John comes there off a layoff of disappointment. So there are lots of different ifs and buts about the others. With Might Bite, I think he's the most solid horse. I think he's the best horse in the race.
So there you are, 2 good votes for Might Bite here. David Jennings.
Yeah, the funny thing about this race is, as you know, I would usually have a very, very strong opinion, but I think there's about maybe 8 horses in this race where...
Oh, Janie Mac, everybody get a pillow up and lay down. Go on.
Where you wouldn't be surprised if any of the 8 won. It's absolutely wide. I've only said about 10 words.
Poor old Jennings, he's going to have to deal with this tomorrow night as well.
Anyway, the one horse I think who was probably overpriced at the minute is Our Duke. I know Robbie Power's riding Sizing John, and he couldn't get off a Gold Cup winner. But Our Duke he's probably a mini Denman, in that he's not as good as Denman, but he's a very similar type, and he did a Denman-style performance when winning the Irish National. Like, for a novice to do what he did and dominate that field, basically from start to finish, that was a hell of a performance. I think he's a real confidence horse. I'd love to back him after 4 fences. I think if he negotiated the first 4 fluently and he got into a rhythm, I could easily see him taking it up with a circuit to run and really taking horses out of their comfort zone, jumping. He's a very, very good horse, and I just think at the price at the moment, he's the one I think could be a superstar in the race. You can make cases for any one of them. If I went and started making cases for them, Rich would completely fire me, so I won't. So, Our Duke.
You'll be all right.
Might Bite, Our Duke, Might Bite. Keels.
If you'd been told at the start of the season that a 1-length win from Double Shuffle would make you favourite for the Gold Cup, you'd have told everyone to fuck right off, wouldn't you? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be
But
honest,
hang on. That's not what made him favourite for the Gold
No,
Cup.
he was already favourite before, and then they shortened him. Look, end of the day, right? Go back and watch that King George, right? And count how many fences Double Shuffle hits. No, he jumped terribly, and he still got within a length of the horse.
So you want to take Might Bite on?
I want to take Might Bite on because he hasn't separated himself from the field. He's a very good horse. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good horse. It'll be bigger than 130 on the day. Everyone,
right.
They will want to take him on. He has run 3 times. He's run 4 times at Cheltenham, I think. 3 times he has hung badly right off. Twice Twice he's, almost tried to run out where the stable is.
So what wins the race?
What wins the race? Road to Respect.
There we go. Same profile as last year's
Same
winner.
profile,
John.
absolutely perfect profile.
Perfect.
Second season chaser. Won the plate last year. Loves good ground. Grade 1 winner last time. Win.
Nice and easy. Road to Respect. Might Bite. Our Duke. Might Bite. For the Gold Cup, I'm going to ask the panellists for a handicap. It doesn't have to be a handicapper. It can be either a handicapper or in one of the races we haven't mentioned. You've got questions in a minute. 1 second. Paul Keeley.
You only want one?
Anything, well, whatever you like. Go on, bang it. You can fire a few out, but it's got to be cannon fire.
Yeah, apparently I was supposed to talk slowly though, isn't that right?
My wife says she didn't understand a word you say.
Right, first day, Ultimate Handicap Chase, Q-Star Civilo. I've backed him in the last couple of years. He was third in the Fred Winter, he was fourth. Only raised £7 for last week's winner Exeter. You could have put him up any amount, he won so easily. He went off joint favourite, I think, last year for the Martin Pipe.
Lizzie Kelly,
16th now.
Q-Star Civiller. Ultimate Handicap Chase.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. Okay, no comment. National Hunt Chase, 2.5 miles, third to Terraform. Beat 30 lengths in the end, but would only have been beaten 4 if he hadn't made a mess of that. Good staying, hurdle form. Barney Dwan, Close Brothers, dropped £2 for winning a Musselburgh last time. Second to presenting Percy, he might win a Gold Cup next year. Massive chance. In the Coral Cup, Deal Destravel, wherever that runs, I will be back in it.
Hang on!
Another handicapper I will definitely be back in, D's de BF. It's actually shorter for the Coral Cup than it is for the Martin Pipe, but apparently it's going for the Martin Pipe with James Bowen on. It's a big price for that. Act of Valour in the Fred Winter.
Yeah, I see that.
Toyed with Look My Way. Toyed with Look My Way first time out. Look My Way is 135. Act of Valour's 136, 97 on the flat. Pertemps Le Broy. Not Pertemps, he could be in the Coral Cup as well. Giving £19 of Black Ivory last
He
time.
said today he was more likely to run in the Coral Cup.
Yeah, giving £19 of Black Ivory when he last ran, only got beat 6 lengths. Black Ivory's gone up massively in the handicap since. Got to be a massive player. Miss Master Whitaker in the plate, rated 137, won't get in the Close Brothers. That form with Theatre Territory is fantastic, and then they were pulled miles here. Theatre Territory was third in the big race.
I agree with that.
Kempton, I think that'll win. I mean, I can't believe it's still 16 to 1. Grand Annual, if it goes, Diego de Charmel. Won a Fred Winter 2 years ago. Went off at 12 to 1 for the county hurdle last year off 149. Been given a mark of 143. Won its first chase. Running 2 Grady races after that. Third at Willoughby Court. Second at St Calvados. Not off. Races you can't win. Good ground in a handicap. County hurdle. Flying Tiger. Basically just been teed up for this race all year. And Ivanovic Gorbatov.
That is good.
Won the Triumph Hurdle 2 years ago. Won that Triumph Hurdle 2 years ago. Went off 5 to 1 favourite last year for the county hurdle, off a mark of 150 and finished 5th. Hasn't run on good ground since. It's 33 to 1. It was 5th last year. 33 to 1, and he's down to 145.
There you are. That's a titanic effort. Luke Harvey.
Absolutely brilliant tips to Paul Keeley, ladies and gentlemen.
But he's talking bollocks.
But then again, who wouldn't be if you tipped 75 horses? Right, go for one in the handicap in the last race on the last day, horse called Vanateur. Since the Pipes always lay a horse out, and I can guarantee you he's about 12 or 14 to 1 now. He'll be half that price on the day. He literally has hardly he's hardly beaten a horse this year. He's been beaten 30, 40, 50 lengths. I promise you, good ground round here. He wasn't far off being a real top handicap. He's dropped 7 in the handicap. Vanateur for a value bet. He'll give you a great run for your money.
DJ?
Oh, I'm petrified. I have a few.
Go on. No, well, as I said, you don't have to show the working, just find the right answers.
Right. I'll try and do it in less than 60 seconds. You can time me there.
It's like just a minute. In 1 minute, without deviating, repeating, or hesitating. David Jennings, your time starts now.
Okay, Ultimate Handicap Chase, the first day. Dingo Dollar has been left on 143. Alan King, a proven chaser. I think he's got a cracking chance. Also, on the first day, Is it the first day? No, it's not. In the Fred.
You're not helping yourself, DJ.
In the National Hunt Chase, as I said earlier, I fancy Dunicos in the Fred Winter style the guard off 137. I think it's hard to believe that Nicky Henderson has only had one entry in the Fred Winter. Given all the juveniles he should have and has in the Triumph, style the guard off 137. The horse he beat, Dr. Bartolo, bolted up at Warwick since, has gone up to 129, so he looks thrown in off 137.
Definite runner as well.
Yeah, I think he's got a cracking chance. Louis Vac Pouch won a Pertemps qualifier at Aintree in November when me and Rich were actually in Melbourne, and the third horse that day was Beer Goggles. He's gone up to 145, but the Pertemps is made for him because he travels like a dream. They'll absolutely bury him, and I think he's got a cracking chance. Tully East won the Close Brothers last year. He runs in the Brown Advisory this year. You will see a completely different Tully East at Cheltenham than you've seen earlier on this season. D's de BF, as Paul said, I think if it runs in the Coral Cup, it's got a great chance. And I was really fancying the Plotting Shed for the Close Brothers, like really fancying it. 150 over hurdles, 143 over fences. The English handicapper has left him on 143. And it was Joe Chambers that said to me before I come in today, if you fancy the Plotting Shed, surely any second now has to have a super chance. And at the break, I went through the form again for about 3 minutes, and I said to myself, do you know what? He's dead right. Any second now is in a different league to the Plotting Shed. He's trained by Ted Walsh. This is his only entry at the festival, I think. I don't think he's in the Arkle anymore. He could be potentially a Grade 1 horse, and he's well handicapped. And finally, another JP horse, my strongest fancy in any of the handicaps, is Don't Touch It in the Grand Annual, who is rated at 149. He was a Grade 1 winning chaser, a Grade 1 winning hurdler, and when he won at Punchestown, in second that day was Brain Power, in third was Petit Mouchoir, in fourth was York Hill. He hasn't had cheek pieces on since he won a handicap chase at the Punchestown Festival last year. He'll have cheek pieces on at Cheltenham. He's a virgin on Grade 1 class over fences, and I think he will be potentially the gamble of the whole meeting. Don't Touch It in the Grand Annual. How long was that?
It was good. It was good. Richie.
Well, first of all, I'm disappointed Joe Chambers has allied himself with David Jennings. Obviously, he's quit my job. The second thing, just joking.
He got paid from me.
I think it's a very funny Cheltenham. I would be with Paul and trying to take on the favourites. I'm hoping we have a few to challenge them. My double would be, I'm sorry to say, Bouverdaire and Altior. You're going to bet money. Sorry, I think they would.
You got another pen.
If we could get them, beat, I'd be delighted. The treble would be in that mix. I think would be Lorena. I think those are the three that would be the bankers of the festival. Other than that, you know, we go with a chance, and I'm speaking from the heart now, rather from the bookies' perspective. We'll try. I mean, we you know, obviously Min and Duvan have a chance on their best form. Faheen has a chance in his best form. Vroom Vroom Mag and Benedict Do have a chance in their best form. Get a Bird has a great chance in his best form. We'll try. I think we'll have a good festival. If we can nick a winner, it'd be great. But what is good is the continued support of all you people and how Cheltenham continues to grow and grow. And you all think it's shite, but it's not. It's a pleasure to be a part of. And to have so many runners in the day and try to have our chances, great. And if we nick a winner, it's brilliant. But thank you very much for listening.